Hi everyone, welcome back to Disc Golf Valley Tips and Tricks. Hope you're having a great day wherever you are in the world. And today we're going to do a practice round of the Grizzly Gulch. If you are struggling on how to get your birdies and eagles on this course, then we might be able to share a few tips and tricks with you. Let's take a look at the bag we're working with. We've picked up a few disc packs to get us started on this new account. The Strive pack, we've put one of them away, the windbreak, but we've got the light and extra glide, and then the roll disc. We've got a big skip rive, and that's helpful. The flow disc, if you're not familiar with that, it's very much like a 10-speed musket with a roll, and a few others that we've picked up along the way. It looks like we've still got a couple from the tournament pack in our bag. A Truth, which is a 5-speed that goes a little bit more than the fuse. We might be able to put that to good use. And so with that, let's get started. The first hole, I think I'm going to pull out my fuse because that seems to work well here. Usually just by putting my pointer here, putting a little bit of an anhyzer on that, it brings that disc right down towards the basket for an easy toss in to get a birdie. Now, if you are wanting to learn how to ace that hole, it is possible. We'll maybe do some other videos on how to get aces. Let's just keep it clean for this one on how to get your birdies and your eagles, I think. But if we want to see that one more time, it's just basically the same play. I mean, we could try a 7 here. Come around the forehand and maybe not bring it down all the way. Let's see how that swings back. Maybe just too much disc, huh? Oh, there's an invisible wall that stops it there. Nice. All right, with that, let's move on to the next hole. All right, our disc of choice here is going to be our 7-speed, and where we want to put that is just on top of that first fence post. It's a little hard to see in the rain here, but that's kind of where we want it, and there's where we can pull it straight back. I like to learn holes where all I have to do is pull straight back, and that is the easiest for me to remember. One of the reasons why I think I am playing this game so much is it's helping me keep my mind clear as I enter into my senior years. Having to remember all of these positions and how much anhyzer to put on. Nothing else I can really show you on that one. That's the play on that one. All right, hole number 3. And here is an opportunity where you can actually sometimes get an eagle, and that'll help you along your way for your 3 stars, and helps if you have a big skip distance driver. And I usually put my pointer right about there. Now this is going to vary depending on what distance driver you have, and also the direction and speed of the wind is going to play an important role here. I think in this wind, I'm going to try right about here. And yeah, that's what we want. Skip up the hill like that. And finish off with the fuse for a nice eagle. Play it one more time, but I don't know if there's anything else I know of to show you. It's just that you do have to be careful with the wind. This is going to push back a little bit more than what we did, so I might put a little bit more anhyzer on it this time to counteract that wind, and that gets us up the hill again. So that wind's pretty strong behind us. But if you haven't figured this out yet, when the wind is at your back, it's not going to lift your disc up quite as much as if it's in your face. So you have to learn how much to compensate. All right, so that's hole number 3. Let's move on. With the disc we have, I think either this musket, this windbreak musket, or the flow disc should work fine. I usually put my pointer right above that rock there and pull straight back. And it usually kind of goes off to the left there, but doesn't usually go sliding away too much. Shooting downhill, we're going to not pull down as much as normal to let it go in. Let's see, let's try one with the flow disc. It's basically the same play here. That flow pretty much sticks the landing as well. And that's what you want on this hole. You don't want the disc sliding off. So if you have a 10 speed that has extra glide with no roll attribute, then it could go sliding away on you. All right, next hole. All right, this is another chance for an eagle here. If you have a distance driver that is a light disc, that will sometimes get you up over the mound here for what you need. Well, that strive disc does go off to the right quite a bit. I think we're going to have a little trouble getting our eagle. Let's try forehand and see if we can't still get this. 43. Oh. So we need to play that one again. I need to remember that these strive discs do naturally turn to the right. So let's remember that this time. And we've got a strong wind, so we might even put a little bit of a hyzer on that. It still went off. But I think we'll be able to see what we're doing this time. 37. Nope, can't see what we're doing. That's the great thing about being in the practice mode. We can spend a little time learning how this strive disc flies in any given wind condition. So let's just do that. I think this is more like what we're wanting to do. Not quite, but we are a little closer to the basket this time. Let's do it again and see if we can't get a little closer. And any distance driver that you have with the light attribute should do something similar here. It's still not doing what I want it to do. No, well. All right, when it does land down here, you still actually have a chance at a eagle here, but it's a little bit more challenging. Really, ideally, you should be back a little bit. But there you go. I think the Rive light disc does this a little better. that's more like what we're looking for. Although, with a little practice and understanding that disc, you should be able to get even closer to this basket. But you can see if you do have one of those distance light drivers, you should be able to get the eagle on that fairly often. But we've probably played that one to death. Let's move on. Okay, now I haven't played this hole with the strive discs. Let's try the more common approach first, using the roll disc. See if we can't get through the hole. The idea is to come swinging around and get through that hole. But we might need to spend some time figuring out what we need to do. Okay, so we see we need to put just a little bit more of a hyzer on that. Still not enough. Now that's too much. Somewhere in between. So that's what we're looking for. Brings us fairly close to the basket for a 2-shot. But let's try the other approach, and I think I might try out this Strive Extra Glide Light disc for this. We're going to switch it to a backhand. Maybe even slide this over a little bit. And put maybe a little bit more than a half hand hyzer on that. And let it come around and drop down by the basket. For an eagle. Do that one more time. So there you go. Either way works. You can play around with it and see what works best for you. For this hole, I think we might bring out our musket. This windbreak musket might be a little heavy and may not go the distance. Yeah, not quite. So let's use the flow disc here. Probably what you want here is a musket with a extra glide. I think even the musket with the roll attribute, the accurate roll attribute musket works fine here. Just basically what this disc is. Rebranded. So let's try that again and get an actual birdie on the board. Flow disc. That wind really took it. Could have been a little bit disastrous there. Let's do it one more time to show you what it really should look like. Sometimes when the wind condition is just right, you'll get an ace on this hole. But I'm happy with the birdie. Alright, if you have the big skip distance driver, or even the light distance driver, this should work. Put it about there, have it swing around. And then from here, it's up the hill. You want to put a little bit more disc than what you normally would there. I think maybe the 7-speed. And since it is a 7, I might even go forehand and see if I can't get enough lift there by pulling straight down to make it in the basket. Not quite. It's nice when you can get an eagle on that one. Let's try again. And this time let's come around the other way with a backhand, slide over, and with that strong wind, let's put quite a bit of an anhyzer on that and let it come back. Look at that wind. Well, since that happened, let's show what happens when you go to the drop zone for this hole. With a little bit of practice, you can learn how to get this. Now, we're in a nasty wind here, but let's try it. Because if you get it, then you still end up with a birdie, I think. So something like right about there is all you need because of the drop in elevation. Ooh. What disc did I use there? Let's try it again. You don't want the truth. Maybe that's what I did. You want the fuse. Yeah. That's what you want. And if we had gotten it on our first try, if we had used the right disc, that would have still been a birdie. So keep that in mind. If you do end up in the water, if you practice that a little bit, you can still get your birdie. Okay, let's see if we can't show this in a better light. Let's use the Rive disc and go backhand this time. And with the wind going that way, we shouldn't run into that same problem. And this should skip up the hill a little bit and give you a chance at getting this eagle. Now, because it's a change of elevation, you go more than you normally would. Let's bring it down to the second line. Nope. That was just a little bit too much. While we're here, I wanted to try out what would happen if we were to use the light strive disc here. Let's try the forehand, or the backhand. See how far this goes. Yeah, it gets caught in there. What would happen if we came around the other way? Ooh, don't like that. So if you do have that big skip distance driver, I would probably stay with that. Whew. We can still try for it. Doesn't happen often, but always nice when it does. All right, hole number 9, and I would recommend actually spending some time practicing this hole before you go for your 3 stars, because you can be doing really well, maybe even have an eagle in your back pocket, and you come to this hole and just totally blow it, because you do have to enter a cave, and the disc has a tendency to fly off to your right, or most discs do. So spend some time on this one. I don't know what we have in our bag that works here. I think the flow disc leaves you a little short. And I think maybe the recoil actually works here. Let's try this. Let's put our pointer down about here. And let's put a little hyzer on it. I know that seems a little counterintuitive, but like I say, the discs have a tendency to go off to the right here. And yeah, that works pretty good. And we're shooting downhill, so don't pull it down as much as you normally would. And let's play it again. Make sure that we're telling you the truth about this recoil disc. Now, if you don't have a recoil disc, a musket extra glide will work here, I think. But for now, we'll just stay with this recoil. All right, well, there's Grizzly Gulch. Hope I was able to show you a few things that will help you along your way to your 3 stars. And next time we come around, we'll do our 3 stars on this course and keep going on our way through all of the courses with this new account in 2024. And if you haven't already done so, I invite you to subscribe to our channel. We're planning to come out with a number of interesting videos to help you along your way in getting better scores at Disc Golf Valley. We'll see you next time here at Disc Golf Valley Tips and Tricks. So long for today.